Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on my channel, we're all about real makeup for real life and real people. If you are new here, special welcome to you. I hope you'll consider subscribing before you leave today if you like what you see, and that will help you find my videos more easily on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday when I upload. So today's video really is a focus on real makeup for real life and real people like us, and it's just going to be a minimal makeup look using minimal makeup. It's been a while, but I've done videos like this in the past, but I was reminded to do an updated video like this by MandyLea, so I'll link her video down below as well. And I am just looking forward to getting into some fresh, light, comfortable makeup as we are moving ever so quickly into spring here in northern Colorado. It's been absolutely beautiful this week, and it reminds me that I do wear more minimal makeup during the warmer months than otherwise, other than eyeshadow, because I love me some eyeshadow. But for now, let's go ahead and get into it. I did start off my makeup routine today using my skincare. I just put on a vitamin C serum as well as eye cream and a tinted sunscreen, and then I went in with a little bit of my Tatcha Silk Canvas in the T-zone. So next I'm going to get into my favorite base product of all time, the Missha Perfect Cover BB Cream. This is the shade 27. I take one pump of this product and kind of put it in between these three main fingers, and I just start working it into the skin using my fingers. I just find that when I work any kind of base product into my skin with my fingers, it always looks better. It always looks more natural and skin-like when I apply it with my fingers, with my hands. So I am going to just kind of take my time and really work this into my skin. And it also doesn't hurt that this particular product, which all of the products I use today will be linked below, this particular product is got a lot of extra sunscreen to add to what I already put on. So that's also a huge bonus, and one of the reasons why this is such a favorite for me. This has SPF 42 PA, how many pluses? 3 pluses. So it's really a nice product. And like I said, the longer that I sort of work with this and work this into my skin, make sure it's blended everywhere that I want it, the more skin-like and natural and just beautiful it's going to look. And then to further ensure that skin-like finish, I'm just going to take my damp e.l.f. Total Complexion Sponge and just bounce over the skin, making sure everything's pressed down, everything's blended, there's no streaks. All right, for concealer, this is one of my favorite concealers for a look like this because it is so very thin, and that is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Concealer. I have the shade Light, and I just put a little bit on the innermost cavern of my eye and then on the outside as well, and then I just take my sponge and blend this in. Now, to be fair, 9 times out of 10 when I do this makeup, I may or may not be wearing foundation. For me, with the tinted sunscreen and everything, I don't always put on foundation, especially if I'm just gonna like be at home taking care of our little zoo here and, you know, not necessarily going anywhere or seeing anyone. I will just put on a little concealer and call it a day. Another concealer that I love for a look like this, though it does take a little bit more time to blend out, is the Glossier Stretch Concealer. So the star of the show today that we are going to complete the rest of the face with is the Smashbox Cali Contour palette. I've used this a lot on my channel, and I've always sung high praises about this little palette. And one extra benefit that this palette has that not a lot of face palettes have is this powder. It's a banana powder or mattifying powder. Also, not all palettes have both a contour and a bronzer, which is nice. So the bulk of the rest of the look is going to be built with this palette, but I am first going to go ahead and fill in my brows, but I will speed through it. I'm going to brush my brows up really nice, fill them in with this NYX MicroBrow pencil, and then set them in place with my Essence Make Me Brow. My brow pencil is ash brown, and this one is number 3 Soft Brownie Brows. Okay, now we are going to move into the Smashbox Cali Contour palette. I'm first going to go in with the banana powder. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush for this and try to be a little light-handed with it. I really don't need much in the way of mattifying when it comes to this foundation, but it is going to be very warm today, and you know, doesn't hurt to set a little bit at least. So I'm gonna go between these two shades today because I really don't want to be too cool or too warm, more like somewhere in the middle. So I'm just going to start this off on my cheeks. And the reason why is I definitely want more definition and whatnot on my cheeks, but also sometimes when I start off up on my forehead, it gets to be too much, and I do really want this to be a nice natural look as well as minimal. So something like that, and then just pick up the tiniest amount to put on the temples up here. And lather, rinse, and repeat on the other side. And I'm just kind of also going across the widest part of my nose. Well, kind of. And I will also link down in the description box some more affordable options that are similar to this Smashbox palette. For highlight, there are 2 highlighters in this palette. I don't know why I can't think of the word palette today. Part of it is I have like a dull aching headache. That tends to affect my ability to think more than anything. But today I'm going to mix these two just like I did with the bronzers and really focus on diffusing this and just making an overall glow on the face. And I do love these 2 highlighters. They are gorgeous. I'm curious if I get any sun this summer, which, you know, sometimes more than others. But if I do get a tan this summer, I'm curious if the gold shade will work better for me. Because I don't think I tried last year because I definitely didn't get much sun last summer. I spent the summer packing, getting ready to buy a house. All right, and then lastly for the face is this beautiful neutral blush right here. I'm gonna go in with this paddle shaped blush brush from e.l.f. And I'm also going to take just a teeny bit of the bronzer shade. And I'm actually going to start this back here And simply because this is the more natural way, or and simply because this is a placement for me that is more natural. I don't go for natural blush too often, personally. I tend to put a lot on the apples of my cheeks. And for me, you know, I like it, but it's not natural. So I'm trying to show you, give an example of, you know, a lot of times the most natural blush placement is going to start further back on the cheek than, you know, starting on the apple, which so many of us do. So I think we're looking pretty nice. Nice and glowy, nice and contoured, defined, however you want to go. And I, especially when I use a blush of like this tone, it's kind of blushy but also sunburny, I like to take a little bit of that and rub it, and apply it right up here, kind of in the center of my hairline. Because if I was getting sun, and if you could see my sunspots, you would see that that's where sun hits the most naturally. I'm gonna take my powder brush again and just kind of blend over those cheeks. No additional product, just making sure everything is nice and blended again. Before we go any further, I'm gonna put a little bit more of my e.l.f. Ride or Die lip balm in Tough Cookie on. What? I know. I heard the doorbell too. It was Amazon. He is very protective of his mama. It's interesting because when the doorbell rings and we're here alone, he doesn't go to the door. He comes to me and stands in front of me and gives a bark or a woof. So I find that interesting and I'm quite proud of him. All right, now that the complexion is completely finished, I like to go over one more time with that damp sponge. Pick up any extra powders or anything like that. Okay, so naturally we're going to use the face palette for our eyes today as well. It's going to be super duper light and simple. I'm just looking to define and kind of contour the eyes as well as brighten up the lid a little bit, and then we'll go from there. I have a fuzz. So I'm going to use the contour shade first with a smaller blending brush. Oh, all of a sudden I have such an itch by my nose. And I'm going to put this one sort of directly in my crease. Keep it close down to the lid. One way you can do that without closing your eyes is to lean your head back. That exposes the crease so that you can easily stay in the crease and not have to try applying eyeshadow with your eyes closed. So hopefully, I don't know if you can see the difference yet, but we're going to go in one more time. And this time I'm going to start on the outer part of the lid and then go into the crease. And where you place your brush and all that will depend on your individual eye shape. I can only speak from my eye shape. I do have really round eyes. I do have slightly hooded eyes. But I do also, and I don't know if it's just age or if they've always been like this, but they're also just ever so slightly downturned at the outer corner, which means I do actually need to be more careful of my eyeshadow placement, because if I really do bring like a crease shade or something down to this outer corner, it's going to end up making my eyes look more downturned, more droopy, and just generally old. So that is something, you know, I think you just figure out with time. All right, and then right over the top of this contour shade, I'm gonna go in with the bronzer shade. And this is just a little lighter, a little warmer, and I feel like, you know, just taking this right over top of the contour and especially along the edges here really helps make it look more natural, like it's just a naturally beautifully contoured eye. That's just me. I mean, you could totally do this look even with an eyeshadow palette if you would prefer. And, you know, I did think about doing that, but I do think part of the fun and the challenge with a look, you know, is like this, is, you know, really actually trying to use the least amount of products as possible. And I love this kind of makeup for like t-shirt days. This is my new Grateful Dead shirt, and I just was like, you know, I don't know, this is what I felt like filming today. This is what I felt like wearing today. I'm gonna pick up just the contour shade now and go ahead and just deepen along the outer corner and upper lash line. All right, for the lid, I do want to put a little tiny bit of shimmer there, but very lightly. So again, I'm gonna mix these two highlighters, but I'm gonna go in with this sort of pinched fluffy brush. I've talked about this in other videos, how I feel like when you use a pinched fluffy brush, it can absolutely reduce the look of texture, if you have any, on your eyelids. And I'm starting on the innermost corner because I don't even want to bring this all the way out to toward the outer corner. I really just want, you know, sort of the inner half to have a little bit of a sheen to it. All right, and with that, that is the eyes all done. It still looks pretty unfinished to me at this point, but I think you're going to see that the next couple of steps are really going to help us out. For eyeliner, any brown eyeliner or any color if you want, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner in the shade Simma Brown now. I just tightline on the upper waterline, and hopefully you can see what a difference that makes. It just makes it look so much more polished and yet not at all like eyeliner. And when I'm doing a makeup look like this, I like to have a nice, soft, fluffy, lengthened, and defined eyelash. And for me, I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. And I'm just going to do my thing. Just apply it, both upstairs and downstairs. All right, so there are the eyes all completed, mascara and all. While we fart around with some lip colors, I am going to take my hair down to work on drying some more. So I thought it'd be fun to show you the difference. Oh wow, look how flat it is. Oh goodness, we can't do that. Okay, so anyways, regardless of how the hair looks, I wanted to show you how you can sort of play with this look and either go totally neutral, or what I like to do is do a pop of color on the lips personally. But I'm first going to show you the neutral lip in case that's your preference, and then we'll do something a little more fun. So I'm starting off with a quick blot and my Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Nude Entrance. Now, the two lip colors that I'm going to try on for you today, one is neutral, one is not. This is the Just a Tint in the shade Gimme Some More from ColourPop. One of my favorite nudes in my collection, hands down. So here's your little everyday nude look. If it was me, I would be adding more blush right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off, and then we'll try on a little bit more fun of a shade, a little more springy. I'm going to line with the same lip liner. This is one of those lip liners that goes with darn near everything, kind of like my Holy Grail from MAC in the shade Whirl. And now we're going to put on the shade A Go-Go from ColourPop in the same Just a Tint line. Is a go-go. I think this is such a fun shade, especially for spring, so I'm looking forward to wearing it a lot because this is a shade that even though it's kind of brighter and pinky and whatnot, it's one of those shades that kind of goes with everything. So I'm gonna pop off of here really quickly, finish the hair, maybe put on some jewelry, and then I'll come back and we'll have a final little chat to wrap things up. All right, I'm back, hair's did, earrings are on, and we're ready to wrap up this video. If you didn't want to do really any kind of lip at all, you could do a lip gloss. You could line your lips with something close to your lip color, smudge it a little bit, add a lip balm if you're going to be like going out wearing a mask. There's a lot of different options for a look like this, and as I've said in videos like this before, I think it's a really good idea to kind of have like a product like this in mind, or a routine like this in mind, to keep in your back pocket for days where you need to get out in a hurry, or days where you just don't feel like wearing a lot of makeup, but maybe you want to be feeling a little bit more put together or a little bit more like yourself. Tune in to my Shop My Stash Get Ready with me and a makeup pep talk video if you want more on that subject. But with all that said, this turned out to be a super long video, regardless of the fact that this would probably take me 10 to 15 at most to apply. I just was feeling chatty today, so I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a longer video for a little bit of a more minimal look. And thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me today. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys know that I know you have busy lives and things going on in your lives, that it is special and meaningful to me every time you tune into my videos. And I also hope that all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful, minimal makeup days. And I will see you in my next video real soon.